music is courtesy of these guys, and we shall go forward. Welcome to my channel. If you saw my other video, my other movie length video, I began the video doing a cloud rendering, and I ended up showing everybody about the stone that I found, and I hope that it was a pretty in-depth look at everything that I've been able to do here in the last several months since finding that stone, and it led me to be able to use the same knowledge to apply it to UFO pictures and cloud pictures. This happens to be a volcano, and I didn't really give it a fair shake, rendering it in that lengthy video. So I think I should start my little series of videos, try to keep it to a short amount of time, and this will be the first one. It looks like an elephant, but that doesn't mean that an elephant is going to show up when we do this. It can be anything. And so let's go at it. I'm going to be using GIMP, free downloadable GIMP software, it's shareware, imaging shareware, and I'm also going to use Taylor app. It's online. So let's start. The goal is to see what we can in the picture. We live in a strange world, some sort of a matrix, as you will see. So when you have a photo, you look at the sometimes if a photo is really big, like a high resolution, then it will show a lower size down here, but it still might fit the screen. So keep that in mind. Typically when you go to Taylor app, it will all be good to go. It will condense it down to a good size. But if you don't use Taylor app, if you throw it on Facebook or whatever, then they tend to bring them down to the right size as well. So what we'll start doing here is I think we can make it just a little bit bigger. So we'll go to image, and we're going to scale the image. Just remember, image, scale image. We're going to change the scale of it. And something else that you can do when you scale it is change the resolution. You can interpolate, meaning you can make the picture bigger and not really lose any resolution, because it gets filled in with the amount of pixels to increase its size uniformly. And there's one thing that you can also do, and I don't know if it's a standard practice, but what you can do is you can just really increase the resolution much higher, and then enlarge it a little bit. Let me show you something here, and this might even be moot, but it's something I do. What I'll do is I'll cut the picture in half. I'll make it say 425. Okay. 27, let's say. Okay. And then we'll increase the resolution. Let's just take the resolution up to like 1200. Doesn't have to be exact. Okay. So now it's going to be smaller, but the pixels are going to be more dense. Okay. Now, do it again. And I know I'm adding in an extra step here. It's kind of like I could make it bigger and just do the resolution bigger. I know that that's probably adequate. I just do it for peace of mind. I don't know. It just plays in my head that way. So I'll go up just even a little bit more and then go back to the 9 or the 850 or whatever. But then we need to make it a little bit bigger. So usually about 1050 usually will make it pretty much full size. So let's see what we got here. Okay, that's good. Now, first thing I do is I go to a high pass filter. And I take the contrast all the way to the right, and I take whatever that is, STD DAY DEY. I don't have my glasses. Okay. So now, just bring it in until you might see things right away. And the more you do this, the better you'll get at seeing things. Sometimes you don't see them right away. Okay. This one's kind of hard to work with. Okay. You don't want it perfect, okay? You want it to leave a little bit of leeway. This might not be the perfect picture to start with, but we'll just do it like this, okay? Somewhere halfway between perfect and not. Alright, and then we'll hit OK. Now, I'll go to colors, and I'll go to exposure. And you can lighten it up a little bit or whatever. And this tends to clarify things a little bit. Makes it a little more detailed. Now, depending on your imagination, you might start seeing things. I see a woman here. Arm. Her breast, it looks like. And then she's looking down. And there's her hair. And then see a woman here. She looks like she's asleep. And then I see a man or someone standing. And we're looking at an angle from the perspective of down low, looking up at the person. And it looks like he's holding a baby. Now, I did see this before. This is about where I got before. And I had looked at it later. And I saw those things. But when I was working on it, in that video, I just really didn't see much. I thought she was holding someone, and I didn't really even notice the hair, and I didn't notice her either. I did notice this. So sometimes you can exhaust what you're doing on GIMP, and then if you go to Tailor App, it's not as an extensive of a program, but what it does it really well. So we'll see what we can do here with what we've got. I try not to change the colors, because usually the colors will present themselves, and sometimes you'll have full color. If you haven't seen that video I made, the lengthy one, I encourage you to look at it. Even if you go through it kind of quickly, what you can do is, in the description, I have a link to my blog. And the blog has all of the pictures to the stone that I found. So if you want to skip over all of the stuff about the stone and just go straight to the pictures of the UFO pictures and the cloud photos and things, you can do that. And then in that section where I do the clouds and everything, I go back to my blog, and on the lower portion of the blog, I have those clouds. So you will go back to that, and you'll, if you're curious at all. Okay, so sometimes if things are totally black and white, if you add a little bit of blue, you can see things clearer. Saturation, that tends to make, that's basically just turning up the color, sort of. Try not to totally overdo it. And then brightness and contrast. Sometimes it will do a lot, sometimes it won't do much. Oh, yeah, one thing here. You have to make sure that the preview is clicked, otherwise it won't show any change. I don't know why it does that on brightness and contrast. I need to pause this for a second. Is there a pause? Oh, come on. Yeah, there's a pause. Okay, hang on a second. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. I am back. Hang on a second. Let's get back to here. Okay. So is a really peculiar one. See, it borders on you probably processing this in your mind as being, oh, well, you can see anything and anything if you just use your imagination. And this might very well be one of those. But some of these are just, I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's like a cartoon of a little mouse with antennas sitting on the back of a car. Yeah, it's just, it's a no-brainer that there's something that's making all this happen. So here's this. This is a good one to start with. We can get your mind around maybe what you're dealing with. The way I look at it is life itself is extremely interesting and complex. And so just us being able to be alive and walking around in this world and doing things and having relationships and having the clarity of our five senses, that's more mind-blowing than anything like this. But because we have a limitation to our world view, something like this tends to invade us, and it really bothers some people. And it kind of bothered me at first, but then I put it in perspective. It's almost like, yes, the more that we know about things like this, the less we know. In actuality, it's kind of like we really know even less. So it kind of puts our egos in check a little bit. And to me, it clarifies that we aren't alone. We are not just happen chance. There's something else at work. And yes, there are three or four beings there. It's pretty clear, to be honest. And so let's take this over there to let's take this to Taylor app now. I think what I might do is pause it while I transfer this, and then I'll bring it back up in Taylor app. So let me pause it while I do all that. Okay, now we're back. And let's see here. Yeah, I would get rid of this here, but I'm giving them the credit here. So, okay, so let's see. Let's make an adjustment. I usually start with sharpness just a little bit, see what that does. Sometimes it makes a huge change. And there it is originally. There it is with it. Sometimes these are just kind of a matter of taste. I try to go somewhere between. Highlights usually doesn't do anything. Sometimes it will make the difference between, like, if you have a white spot or something that's annoying. Sometimes you can use this and it'll get rid of it a little bit. That's good, okay. Clarity. Sometimes I'll over exaggerate just to see if there's other details, like what's going on up here. Can't really tell. Sometimes things will give you a double take. It's like for a second there. For a second there, I thought I saw somebody, like another person here, even though it makes more sense that it's somebody standing there. But I'm usually a little more methodical. I think I'm being hasty. Because I said this video should be 15 minutes or so. See, maybe that's not even a baby. That could be something else. It almost looks like he's dumping out ashes. See, doesn't that look like a person praying? You'll find that a lot, where things will be two different things. So then it's a matter of what do you want to highlight more? Because you can't really have a person standing there and then it also be somebody. It doesn't make sense. So I suppose you could, but I would rather just her not be there. To be honest, maybe you can see her there and him there, and he's standing behind her or something. I'm not sure. Maybe you can't see any of this. I don't know. I've got it all funked up here. Typically, I don't get this far off the beaten path. I guess it's good. It's good for you, for your learning, I guess, to see what directions you can go with it all. I still can't make this out. And I can't really see his head or anything. But then again, maybe it's out of view. And so, yes, he's holding something here. And there's this woman, and then she's slumbering there. That's how I see it. And there's probably somebody here. All of that coloration, how did I get that in there? It's a little bit of a distraction. It's the fine details that can really make or break it. See, I don't really see the woman praying anymore. All of them are different. That's what makes this so fun to do, is because every single one are different. So I'll just go with that and see where our sharpness is. So do we want it crisp? Or somewhere in between? Okay, we'll go crisp and then back it off slightly. Wow. See the face and the little vest, and the white shirt, and the vest, and the face. That's one to think about. A lot going on there, huh? This one, the perspective is really interesting. I don't think I've seen anything quite like this before. So, there it is. Hope you enjoyed it. You can try to do this yourself. I'll make more of these. Or do more of these, I guess. I've got several pictures that I took just coming from Columbus, Ohio, down here to southern Ohio. Several pictures on one trip. Just putting the camera out the window when I saw a cloud, and actually a lot of them were taken with the window up. And I forgot I had the flash on. And I kept thinking, why is the sun in every one of these shots? And then I realized it was the flash in the window. But it did look like the sun anyway. It didn't look like a flash. So, this is either really interesting to you or doesn't mean much. Or somewhere in between. If you'd like, subscribe and hit the like button, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.